I am what's called a studio mechanic, I'm a carpenter, but I build sets. We specialize in sets. I mean, I don't do outside carpentry per se. I mean, framing, and I can do finished carpentry. But for the most part, we build sets. I build sets for television and movies. I had been working on the outside, doing mostly finished carpentry, but I have a brother-in-law who is a producer, and they were short on carpenters for First Wives Club. So he asked me if I would be interested in working on this movie, and I said sure. We're never intending to continue. That it was just a one-shot deal, and well, one thing led to another, and you know, I got into the union. And I liked it. They liked me. So it turned out to be a career. I would say for the most part we're more like finished carpenters. We don't frame houses. We don't do roofing. It's more it's all fake stuff. You know, usually things have just what's visible to the camera. You walk behind it and you know, it's just a bunch of wood. You know, so there's different. The other part of this is that it's about production. You have to build as quickly as possible, as efficiently as possible, and there's little downtime. I mean, shooting schedules are small or narrow, so they'll give us a print, and you know they could say within well on a television show they could say you have to have it done by you have a day and a half. So it's not unusual for us to work 12-hour days. Well, standard is a 10-hour day, but we do work 12-hour days very often, especially on television, and Saturdays, a 10-hour day on a Saturday. I tell you, you know, carpentry in general, building is something that I think you have to be able to visualize. When I first started this, I had no experience at all, and I remember working with a guy who was converting two apartments into a duplex, and we were putting a staircase in, and he was telling me, oh, this is, the staircase will run this way and there'll be a landing and it'll go up this way. It was clear to me that he could see it. I couldn't see it. So it takes a while. For me, it was an acquired skill because we have guys that have built since they were kids, so it's not an issue. But for me, not having any idea about building at all, it became something I had to work on. It was an acquired skill. So now, you know, I can look at a plan. I know when it's there. I can read a plan. But initially, you can't build it unless you see it first, in my mind. There's a tolerance in terms of what you can and can't do. In other words, you really can't cut a corner because of safety reasons. That's the big thing. I mean, because somebody comes out of our shop, the groups will put it together, and then people are walking on it, or you know, scenics are painting it and they're moving around, and you know, it has to be well built. And the other thing is that, well, two things. One is art departments demand a certain kind of specificity. In other words, you get a plan and you're thinking, you'll never see this. Like I remember working on First Wives Club, I had a backing wall that had a corner. And I had to make sure that joint was so tight and correct. And a grip walked by and knocked it, hit the wall, and went. But it didn't matter because it was never on camera. But as you're building it, you want it to be right. And the other thing is the guys I work with really care about what they're doing. And I mean, that's one of the joys of the business. I mean, guys are really concerned about producing quality stuff, things that will never show on camera in 1,000 years. You know, you could build a whole set and the shot is this, you know, but we care. Initially, just like any building, any of the trades, you would go periods of time without employment. But I guess about 5 years ago, they started, the state provided tax credits for production companies to come and shoot in New York. If you were on the stage for a specific period of time, the city would provide productions with tax credits. Well, that changed everything. I mean, we've been busy, really busy for the last, I guess it's been about 7 years now. And I mean, studios are popping up all over here in Greenpoint, and especially here in Greenpoint. There must be 12 television shows being shot here now, providing sort of steady employment for everybody. We've expanded or increased the number of people coming into the union. My concern is that if tax credits dry up, business will dry up. I mean, production wants, look, I was told that people love to come to New York and work here. Talent, they don't want to go to, I mean, a lot of shows are going to Toronto or North Carolina. They don't want to go there. They want to come to New York, but they need some incentive, financial incentive, and we provide that now, and it's been really good for us, But, there are naysayers who say it doesn't provide enough income, doesn't generate enough income for the city to justify giving tax credits. So, it's an iffy situation. People think that because it's the movies or television, there's something sexy about it, But in my 20 years, I would say there's probably only 2 shows that I feel as though I'm proud to have been a part of. And one is The Sopranos, I think that was huge in so many ways. I mean, I think it changed television. I think the themes were big: loyalty and betrayal and family love, and, politics. Big themes. And the other thing was Angels in America, which dealt with HIV/AIDS. And I think those were 2 really important shows that I was, sort of lucky to be a part of, small part, but a part nonetheless. The rest is entertainment. I mean, there's something to be said about entertainment. It serves a purpose, but it's not Doctors Without Borders. The sets that Boardwalk does, they are just gorgeous. Those are sets that you really like to work on. I mean, that it's really a privilege to work on these sets. I mean, you would walk. This one set, the Chalky White's nightclub, the Honest Club. It is. I mean, I seldom take pictures of things that I work on. I had to take a picture of this because I mean, it's a set that you can walk through. There's an upper part where offices are. You can look down, and very seldom do you get a continuous a set where you can actually walk through. A camera could follow someone, and it's really it's a privilege to work on a set that is as detailed and as beautifully done as Boardwalk. I mean, the thing is, just like for us, it's always 12-hour days coming on Saturdays, and it's a pain in the butt. It's a lot of time, but it's nice work. It's really nice work. I mean, for the most part, you do television, you're doing hotel rooms, a precinct, you're doing a bedroom in a hotel, and standard stuff. But Boardwalk is completely different. We don't get the script. I don't get the script. I don't know what it is. I may know who's in it or have a general idea of the narrative, but I know nothing about it. I mean, when I first started working in Sopranos, it was about the same time the 3 Tenors came out, with Pavarotti, and I thought, oh, they're going to do 3 women Sopranos. It's about 3 women. I had no idea it was about the mob in New Jersey, And I mean, the other part of the Sopranos thing was I grew up in Newark, and I knew I sort of existed on the periphery of those people, and they were really interesting, endearing people, and for us in those days, as kids, they were what we aspired to, And here they were. I mean, they had the language and the attitude perfect, and I mean, so combined with my background, growing up in Newark, and then, being able to be a part of this, it was big, I mean, for me. When my son was born, I was concerned, I wanted to be an example of someone who was engaged in what I did. What I did at the time was more about making a living, providing for him, and well, Andrea worked also. So I decided to take an acting class. It was something I always wanted to do, And it wasn't so much about having a career in acting, but it was just to show him that, look, I'm going every Sunday for 3 hours. There's no monetary reward. It's because I'm doing it because I want to do it. So to back up there, I grew up in Newark. For the most part, all my friends were Italian. I'm half Filipino and German. And we loved Sinatra and the Rat Pack, and they were our idols. We dressed, and we would sit around a table, and Bobby Spagnola would say, "Okay, I'm Sinatra. Billy Magdalena, you're D. Marshall. You're Trini Lopez." If you know Trini Lopez, Lemon Tree guy. So we used to go to this. There was a restaurant bar in North Newark that, I don't know if this is really true, but, a lot of wise guys were supposed to hang out there, and it was a bar restaurant, And we would go there occasionally. We would get dressed up, and it was just a bar with, a couple tables here. Then there was like, as I recall, a knee wall in the back, and the wise guys would be in the back there, And we thought we were part of that crew, just being there. I mean, we were 18 years old. Coming back to the acting class, I actually get a part in the movie. A friend of ours who's a director, and a writer-director, she asked me if I would be interested in playing this bar owner, a bar in Delaware. I said, sure, And, she sent me the script and a few lines. And they picked me up in the morning, at 7 o'clock in the morning, in a van, and I said, where are we going? To the guy, the driver. He says, oh, we're going to Newark. I said, Newark? I'm from Newark. We're in Newark. And he said the name of this place that 30 years ago we used to go to and be a wise guy, pretend wise guy. We go to this place. The place was exactly the same. I mean, they had plaster of Paris statues of Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin. Now I own the place. Trini Lopez. I own the place. I mean, I actually, I'm behind the bar. There's bats behind the bar. I mean, it was. The other part of that story was that they had they served something called Chicken Murphy, which was chicken nuggets with hot peppers. To this day, I mean, the women my age, if we have a christening or when they bring food, they bring Chicken Murphy, because we used to eat it at this place. I go to this place and there's an old guy at the bar, and I say, well, I used to come here when I was young, a kid, and he had lights and a whole bunch of young people running around. So I said, what do you think about this? He said, it's fucked up, man. I said, why? I can't get my chicken order today. I mean, the Chicken Murphy, it was like the most, it was the weirdest thing. Well, the other thing was that there was a guy there who was an extra who lived in the neighborhood, because I overheard him tell the director, listen, if you don't like what I'm wearing, I got some other stuff. She said, no. So I said, oh, he says, oh, yeah, and he started running through guys that used to hang at the bar and what had happened to them. So-and-so, he 20 to life. And so it was like the universe had played this really weird trick on me, which was, it was really beautiful. I mean, my life had turned 180 degrees. I was going somewhere else, and boy, where does it send me back to? Is this place. Now, to me, this place was the Sopranos place. This could have been the Bada Bing, or or one of those other places, And here I was, being a part of that. So that's the closest Sopranos story.